49ers mailbag time here on the 49ers Report. I am your host, Jay Senior. Use the hashtag 49ers to get your questions answered, or you can super chat us to skip ahead of everybody else in front of you. We will answer your questions first. These questions coming in during our live show as we go live every single Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Be sure to subscribe and join us. Start off this mailbag with this question coming in from Alpha Doctor 20. What are you most worried about going into the Packers game? It's probably the Niners secondary because in week one, they were targeted by Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles. They got big played. Josh Norman got whistled for 2 pass interference penalties. I think those penalties could have gone both ways because they were ticky-tack fouls, and we know that Josh Norman always likes to play a physical brand of football. But Aaron Rodgers is the reigning MVP. He always does things creatively from a pre-snap perspective to try to gain an advantage against the opposing defense. I just think that the Niners' defensive line is going to be able to take advantage of an inexperienced, young and unproven Packers offensive line. David Bakhtiari obviously still not playing for Green Bay, coming off that torn ACL. But the worry is in the secondary. The strength, is along the defensive front. Go for broke. I know it's early in the season, but Bosa is on track for a 25-sack season. How many do you think he will actually have? Yeah, he has 3 sacks so far throughout the first 2 games. I kind of penciled Nick Bosa in for a double-digit sack campaign. I mean, shoot, he gets 2 more this weekend, and he's already at 5, right? So he's halfway there during the 17-game slate. So, man, 25 sacks, I think that's astronomically high. I know you're having fun with the question, go for broke. Let's say like 10 to 13. And when you're in that range, you're one of the best edge rushers in the league, which he is already. Alfredo Hernandez, do you think we should sign DeAnthony Thomas for special teams? Yeah, I don't know if Trenton Cannon is it, returning kicks and punts. I think DeAnthony Thomas might have more explosion, but there is a reason why DeAnthony Thomas is not signed and he's not on the team. It's because he's not very good. He had a bad pro day coming out of Oregon. I liked him coming out of Oregon as a big play guy who could at the very least be a big play threat on special teams, but never really happened with Kansas City. And his 40-yard dash coming out of Oregon was like 4.5, which was really, really bad. But is he better than Trenton Cannon? Possibly. Alpha Doctor 20 with another question. What do you think will be the hardest game of the season? Any game in the NFC West. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are one of the best and most exciting watches in the National Football League right now. Kyler Murray has made some plays throughout the first 2 weeks that are jaw-dropping good. Just ridiculous plays that you've really never seen before. So not only do you have to go up against Kyler Murray, you have to go up against Russell Wilson, who's never won less than 9 games throughout his Hall of Fame career. And then Matthew Stafford and the Rams are revamped. So I think any game inside the NFC West is going to have a lot of implications. It's going to be a pressure-packed environment. Those games are going to go a long way as to determining the NFC West winner, and they have playoff implications. So this division, I think it's the best in football, and I don't think there's any question there. I'm not falling for this one, but I'll say it anyway. I need a dump. Get it? I need a dump. I need a dump. Nice. Is Trey Lance a bust? No, Trey Lance is not a bust. For anybody saying that already, that is such a hyperbolic statement. That is fake news. That is way overboard. Trey Lance is not a bust. How can you say that Trey Lance is a bust? How can you ask that question 2 weeks in? Yeah, he didn't play against the Eagles in week 2. Wasn't really a matchup for him to play. You're going up against a very physical Eagles defense. You're on the road in a very hostile environment. He threw a touchdown pass his first game as a pro, and we saw the ridiculous talent that he possesses all throughout the preseason as well as in training camp. I have supported Trey Lance. This is a pro Trey Lance channel. I am going to defend him because I think with Kyle Shanahan, they can make magic happen. So no, he's not a damn bust. Do you want to see Trey Lance in week 3? Type HY for hell yes. Type NW for no way. Hell yes. I want to see Trey Lance in the game. I want to see him in special Lance packages. If Jimmy Garoppolo plays like he does in that first quarter, The calls for Trey Lance are going to continue to get hot. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo really rebounded well after that bad first quarter in which he was missing guys left and right, throwing some flutter balls. But before halftime, I don't think Trey Lance in a regular season game is going to be able to march you down the field in a 2-minute drill, 96 yards, and put up a touchdown to basically flip the game, as well as that goal line stand. So I do want to see Trey, but only in certain situations. Justin Abalera, fantasy help. Do you think Jeff Wilson returns and make an impact? So he started running a week or two ago. That's a good sign. But he's on PUP, which means he's going to miss like the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season. I think he comes back at some point in October, but you don't need to have Jeff Wilson sitting on your bench in fantasy. There are so many better options out there. The running back position has become replaceable. It's become expendable, and there are guys going off any given week. So don't stash Jeff Wilson, in my opinion. Crux98, any concerns for our linebacker depth? Yeah, a little bit. Fred Warner has never missed a game throughout his career, which is crazy, since getting drafted in the 3rd round out of BYU in 2018. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Let's hope that I don't reverse, that path for Fred Warner. You're without Dre Greenlaw, who had that pick 6 in week 1 against the Lions. So you're somewhat thin there, but modern-day defenses are starting to play more defensive backs as you play more nickel. As more offenses go with like 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. So you can escape and you can survive with less linebackers on the field and more DBs. Shout out to today's sponsor, BetUS, for making today's show possible. Do you want the best deal that any sportsbook has to offer? Let's get you hooked up with our friends at BetUS. If you go to chatsports.com/49bet and you enter the promo code Niners125, you get a 125% deposit bonus, meaning if you put $100 into your account, you get an additional $125 back. Now, in week 1, I was 4-1 against the spread. Week 2, I came crashing back down to earth. I went 0-5. So if you want to give me some bets and your 5 best bets in the comment section of this video, do so right now. I'm trying to make some ground up in our Chat Sports standings. I'm only 2 games back in the win column from our leader, Thomas Mott. He's 6-3-1 so far. Petey is 6-4. Marshall Green 6-4. Tom Downey 6-4. Mitchell Renz an even 5-5. Producer Jack Lauderay, he's an inexperienced gambler. Hey, he's breaking even so far at 5-5. JB at 5-5, RC at 5-5, CEO James at 4-6. I'm at 4-6, so I'm within striking distance of coming back. I went 5-2 during college games on Saturday, so I'm still on top, making that cheddar. Sam Brown 4-6, Brett Scott 3-7, Trace Gerard 3-7, Cooper Steen 2-8, and you just don't want to be Harrison Graham. You don't want to be Harrison Graham. He's the laughing stock here at Chat Sports. He is 0-10. Not sure how it's possible. But he has made it possible, and he's going to have to vacuum our entire Chat Sports offices. My gosh, that's just really bad. I love him. I don't love the bets, though. Do you want a free 49ers jersey? Here's how we can get you hooked up. Chatsports.com/49bet. Enter the promo code Niners125. You sign up. You get that deposit back. You place a bet, and then you email us jersey@chatsports.com, letting us know that you followed all of those steps. Let us know what jersey you won. The ones that we're kind of selling, Fred Warner, George Kittle, Trey Lance. If you want another one, ask us at that email address. We'll get you hooked up either way. Rock Peebles, how is Trey Sermon doing still in protocol? Let me ask you this. Has anybody had a worse first play in his NFL career? First of all, Trey Sermon is a healthy scratch in week 1. Doesn't play in week 2. Then in the second half gets his first carry. Picks up a first down, gets tripped up, gets nailed in the head, fumbles the football because of that collision, and then lands on his head going full speed to the ground, and then goes into concussion protocol. So he's in concussion protocol, and that's kind of his status right now as we record this during our live show on Tuesday. Straight up brutal way for him to get introduced to the league in his first career play. E-Bell, do you think Trey Lance will get to play in the Packers game? I think after not playing him in week 2, Kyle Shanahan is at least going to play Trey Lance a play against the Packers because I think he feels some of the noise and he feels some of the pressure to play Trey Lance. So maybe you see him in a special Trey Lance package or once the Niners get into the red zone. My homie, Wet Noodle 187, do you see any trades in our future? Maybe, at the trade deadline last year, you brought in Jordan Willis, and I actually think he could be a player. The Niners do have 2 open spots on the 53-man roster. Again, as we record this during our live show on Tuesday, I don't think a trade is going to occupy one of those spots, but moving forward, that is something to keep an eye on. Justin Abalera, is the offensive line better than last year? Yes, because Alex Mack has been so good throughout the first 2 weeks, and that's an immediate upgrade. Laken Tomlinson, I don't know if he's ever missed a game in his Niners career. He's been so durable, so he's very serviceable at left guard. Trent Williams, one of the best, if not the best, left tackles in the game. At right tackle, Mike McGlinchey's really just been okay. Daniel Brunskill has to be better at right guard, but I do think the O-line this year is better than last. Puff, puff, screen pass. I like it. Puff, puff, pass. I'm always down. Is a Jimmy Garoppolo trade off the table? I do think a Jimmy Garoppolo trade is off the table for this reason and this reason alone. If Trey Lance was ready to play, he'd be starting, and Kyle Shanahan would be playing him. I think that Kyle Shanahan wanted Trey Lance to take the job, and while there were a lot of highs throughout training camp in the preseason, Trey Lance is a developmental prospect, and I'm not surprised that he's raw. Dude was 20 years old when he got drafted, only attempted little more than 300 passes throughout his career at North Dakota State. He played 1 full season at the college level, at the FCS level too, at North Dakota State. So you have to keep Jimmy Garoppolo because Trey Lance isn't ready to go. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo trade next offseason, that could be in play. What do you want the Niners to do? Do you think the Niners would be crazy to trade Jimmy G? I do think they'd be crazy to trade him right now. Type Y for yes, they'd be crazy. Type N for no. Get those votes in the comment section down below. As always, we appreciate the audience interaction. And subscribe to the channel, because speaking of audiences, we have a massive one here on the 49ers Report over the weekend when we had 70,000 people join us for our live watch party against the Eagles. We surpassed 40,000 subscribers. If you want the best 49ers coverage right here on the internet, smash that subscribe button. Be a part of the faithful family here at Chat Sports. Tony Two Toes. The 49ers love to run the ball first. Are you concerned with our banged-up backfield? No, because Bobby Turner, one of the best developers of running backs in the NFL, is the running backs coach for this organization. And because Kyle Shanahan runs the offensive system that he does, he's been able to have success with any running back that he's been able to coach and plug into a system. So it's more of a plug, play, and produce thing. So for those free agent running backs, especially Jaquez Patrick, they're probably licking their chops with the possibility of playing in Kyle Shanahan's scheme because they all have success. Sal, last question in this mailbag. You think Carryon Johnson will have an impact on our offense if he gets called up to the active roster? I mean, I basically answered that with that last question, and I appreciate the question, Sal. Honestly, look back at the bevy and the plethora of running backs in the Kyle Shanahan regime. All of them have pretty much been successful. Now, there have been a lot of injuries at that spot, and that's not because of Kyle Shanahan's scheme or anything. That's just attrition in the National Football League. But Carryon Johnson, former second-round pick by the Lions coming out of Auburn, I think, honestly, he'd be able to have some success in Kyle Shanahan's system.